I support these girls 100%. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the controversial boot girls in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, if you don't know about Georgia, specifically Atlanta, there's an epidemic of cars getting booted. And if you don't know what that is, if you're not from the States or whatever the case, if you're parked in a place illegally or too long or whatever the case may be, there's a boot put on your tire and you're not able to actually move the vehicle until the boot gets removed. Now, what they want you to do is to call the boot man and pay $75 right there in person to get the boot taken off of your car. This can be dangerous because you might get caught in some random parking lot in downtown Atlanta, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the boot's on your car. You can't move it. You got to wait for the boot man to get there. Do you have your gun on you? You're going to need it. Do you have a squad with you? You might need it. Okay. It's better to get a ticket rather than the boot. Now, these girls in Atlanta got a boot key and they're taking the boots off of cars for a discounted rate. Now, before I go any further, let's go ahead and get into the video. If you want to see it in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tonight, two women in Atlanta, they are fighting back against the private parking industry's practice of booting cars. They say it's predatory and they're going viral online for removing boots for drivers.
So there's the boot right there. You see how it's like right on your tire. So you're not able to drive with that on your tire because the tire's got to be round. It's got to be able to move, and that will prevent you from being able to go forward. Okay, and it's illegal to destroy the boot.
Channel 2's Courtney Francisco is live, and Courtney, they call themselves the Boot Girls.
They sure do, and you'll notice all around Atlanta signs like this in parking lots that say your car will be booted. Well, the Boot Girls provide an alternative.
You can't do it.
It may be risky business.
This is our property.
But the Boot Girls are doing it
all day, every day.
All day.
That's how often they say they're getting calls from drivers who have boots on their wheels in private lots in Atlanta, now that their videos on social media are starting to go viral.
And it is expanded out of nowhere.
The Boot Girls will swoop in and remove a boot from your car for a flat fee of $50. It's controversial because private parking lot companies own the boot and put it on there.
2 boots on the car is crazy. That's nuts. Like, what is the purpose?
The city of Atlanta allows them to charge you up to $75 a day every day the boot is on your car.
Predatory.
Christian Verrett is the one who started selling the keys that unlock Atlanta boots in the first place about a year ago.
It's holding someone hostage. You're holding somebody for ransom. $75 or you can't go anywhere. I'm not leaving my car in the middle of downtown.
Well,
exactly. And that's the point, because if you don't have the money, you can't take your car. So what happens? You leaving your car right there in downtown. It's going to get broken into. Well, I'm not going to say it will get broken into. It has a high chance of being broken into. And the boys in Atlanta, what they enjoy doing is busting your windows out, or at least one window, to get inside your car to try and steal the actual car or to take things that are inside. You can have a totally clean car, nothing visible from the outside, but they'll still do it. And now you got to call Safe Light. Even with insurance, you got to spend hundreds of dollars to get your window replaced. And it may be a while because there are so many cars being broken into that they got a backlog, plus supply chain issues. You're riding around Atlanta with a trash bag in your window for 6 months until you get your window replaced. So you got to pay for the boot. Then you got to pay for your car to get repaired. All kind of stuff going on because of the booting. This is not a practice that really makes sense, in my opinion. Let's keep on going.
say, but you shouldn't have parked illegally.
As opposed to, hey, a ticket, put your ticket, walk away. You can just drive off with your ticket. And there's a video right now of a DoorDasher who parked for 2 seconds just to go grab an order. I mean, the guy's doing DoorDash. It's kind of a sad video. He was really emotional about. He could not afford the $70. He just did not have it.
This week.
And I saw that video with the DoorDasher. What he did was he went to go pick up the order from the Chinese spot. He had literally like a bag of food. It wasn't even a lot of food. He might have made $10 on that order, if that at best. It wasn't even a really big order. He just parked for a moment to go get the order from the restaurant. He comes back outside, it's a boot on his car, $75. And if you don't pay it, they're going to continue to rack up the expenses and tow your car. So it's just a mess.
He says he sold nearly $50,000 worth of keys. That's more than 300 orders. Atlanta police say it's not illegal to own one, but using it to unlock a private lot's boot could lead to charges like criminal trespass and theft of service.
I believe the police are stretching with that one.
The Boot Girls said they're not sharing their identity anytime soon.
We already have people that don't like us, so we rather just cover our identity anyway.
Channel 2's Courtney Francisco is back live. And Courtney, the boot key salesman says he's going a step further now.
That's right. He started a change.org petition that tells city council to ban the boot, stop this ordinance that allows this practice. And at last check, it had nearly 1,000 signatures.
Yeah.
Now, that's the video right there. There's more information about this. I'll link to it in the description. And speaking about the petition that he has, there was actually legislation in the Georgia House to ban the boot statewide. Now, ultimately, it failed. I'm not really sure why it failed. I don't know what was in the bill aside from just banning the boot, but it should have passed because, look, I'm not a guy that says you shouldn't follow the law. I'm a law-abiding citizen, follow the law. But if it's a parking infraction or something like that, just give me a ticket. Just give me a ticket. I'll pay the ticket, but don't hold my car hostage. It's a racket because here's what'll happen. If you're not from Atlanta, they'll get you a lot because you're not really understanding the way things work. I'll tell you a couple stories. Now, one time when I first started going to Atlanta, I was going to go to this restaurant right by Lenox Mall, right on, it might have been Peachtree. That could be anywhere, right? But anyway, the parking right in front of the restaurant was valet only. So I'm like, man, I ain't trying to pay that and have to go through all this nonsense. Plus it was a line and it was the road was kind of backed up a little bit. I'm like, all right, let me find some parking elsewhere and just walk to the restaurant. It's a easily walkable area. Why not just do that? So I found some parking, like literally like down the street. It would have been a 2-minute walk. It was in front of a furniture store. It was like a little shopping center. It was plenty of spaces. I'm like, okay, let me just park right here. But then I thought, wait a minute, let me just think about this for a second. And I had to search to find the signs because they say, oh, it's a sign right there, ABO, you shouldn't have parked right there. The signs are not very visible usually. Sometimes there's not even really any signs around where you park, but different story, I digress. I found the sign and it says, hey, if you park here and you leave the area, then your car can be booted. So I'm like, okay, I'm glad I looked for the sign because if I had parked right there, went to the restaurant and came back out, I would have been booted. Then I got to pay $75 right there to get the boot taken off. You see, but if you're not from Atlanta, if you don't visit the area frequently, if you're not familiar with the way the parking lots and everything work, you'll get booted. Another example, you go visit a friend in their apartment. They have a parking garage next to their apartment. A lot of times, if you're in the city, that's the way that they work. It'll rarely be anything beyond that. It'll be a garage. If you go in that garage without a pass or a guest pass or anything like that, they'll boot you. So, and sometimes they don't care how long you've been there. You could be with a friend, helping them bring in some groceries or something like that, anything, a piece of furniture. You'll park your vehicle and you'll come back outside after 5 minutes and then it's a boot on your car. That's how they do. Okay. If you pay for parking and you pay for a certain amount of time and you go a minute over, they'll boot you. That's the whole game. And then also, here's one more thing. Sometimes you have fake parking lots. Like you can park there, but you probably shouldn't be parked there. It'll be an attendant. It might even be 2 guys with vests on and they'll say, hey, okay, you can park right here. It's X amount of money. You come outside, they gone, and it's a boot on your car. That happens a lot too. Again, I'm not a guy that says you should just do whatever you want parking wise and there should be no penalty, but having the boot on your car is kind of ridiculous. Like where I live, I've gotten a ticket for a parking infraction rather than the boot. And I beat the ticket because I did pay for my space. I just put in the wrong number of the parking lot on the app that I paid. Because the way it works in some parking lots here is you have an app and you put in the number of the parking lot and the number of your space. I put in 130 something and it was 130 something else. All I did was just email them the receipt of where I paid and show that it was the wrong spot. And then the ticket was gone. That's the way it should be rather than the boot, because even if you take the boot off as I close, you still got to pay the ticket. You see what I'm saying? So just give me the ticket rather than the boot. That's the way it should be. So I support these girls. in their venture. I support the guy that was selling the boot keys as well, because it's ridiculous. You know, I'm not trying to get caught out here downtown Atlanta and, you know, having some dude come up to my car, to my song, hey, twin, I don't got no time for that. I might not have my gun on me. It's just too dangerous. I ain't trying to leave it there, have it get broken into. You know, they might try to steal my car. Then I got to call Safe Flight, all this and that and the third. Just give me a ticket. I'll pay the ticket rather than holding my car hostage in some sketchy parking lot in downtown, Midtown, Buckhead, Atlanta. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about these girls coming to save the day with the boot key? How you feel about the guy that's selling the boot keys? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm staying. This is a thing that I appreciate, and it's not even illegal. APD, Atlanta Police Department, say that it's not illegal to possess a key or to use the key. They say you could get brought up on charges, but you can only get charged for that, as far as I know, if you steal the key or if you damage it. All you got to do is take the key off, leave it right there on the curb, and go about your merry way. You still owe the ticket, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I'll pay the ticket on my own time rather than getting held hostage right there, not being able to leave the scene of what could be a dangerous location. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.